In our last video, link in the description, we looked at signs, clearest signs that you have a slow metabolism. And metabolism is very important because the rate at which we burn fat is determined by our metabolism. So that if you have a high metabolism, chances are that you'll burn more fat. And if you have low metabolism, you'll have a problem burning fat. So in this video, we are going to look at ways that we can fix our low metabolism. That way we can boost our metabolism so that it goes high and we can have chances of burning more fat. But before that, let us look at what causes this slow metabolism. Coming right up. Cause number one of slow metabolism is eating less calories, or what people call dieting. So dieting means that you take less calories than what your body needs. Such that if your body needs 1500 calories in a day to run its activity of keeping you alive, working on the computer or doing your physical activities, if you need 1500, maybe you can take less than that. And that's what you normally get from most of our fitness influencers, that you eat less calories than your body needs. That way you'll be able to burn fat. But it doesn't work that way automatically, because what happens is when you reduce your calorific intake, at some point your body tends to get into protective mode, in a way to protect itself. So what happens is, when it starts realizing that you're taking less calories, it starts to shut down some functions of your body so that it can survive on less energy, because you're giving it less energy. So it becomes more efficient. It becomes more efficient in using that small energy that you're giving it. So what happens is, you will lose weight up to certain point, but after that point, the body will have this thing called metabolism adaptation. We shall talk about it in our future video. It adapts to that new level of calories intake that you are giving it. So you start having all the other signs, the signs of now slow metabolism starts showing up, like slowed speech. You're not able to fidget when you talk. You're not able to gesturize like I'm doing, because your body has slowed down, because you're giving it less calories. The body is very smart. If you just stop doing bad things to it, it starts to protect itself by reducing the activities that you do without thinking, like blinking your eye, laughing. You start getting less energy to do that, because the body has gotten into that adaptation mode. It's called metabolism adaptation. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing to be with. Then we have number two. The second cause of slow metabolism is age, and this is naturally. Our metabolism tends to slow down as we age. That's the force of nature. There's nothing much we can do about it. But also, when we age, we tend to have less physical activities. Maybe because our fortunes have changed, so we no longer do the things we used to do when you're young. We no longer have the opportunities, maybe to go maybe in a field and play or something. So because of that, as our activities go down, also the metabolism go down. The other likely explanation is that when you age, you start losing muscles in a process called muscle sarcopenia. Every year you lose a certain kind of muscles, and we said muscles are very metabolically active. If you have more muscles, you'll have a higher level of metabolism. So if you lose muscles, your metabolism goes down. And then there's hormonal changes when you grow old. The hormones that are in charge of regulating our metabolism, the thyroid hormones, are really affected. So because of that, you start having slow metabolism. And then the other explanation is that over the years, there's accumulation of the bad stuff you've been doing to our body. So if you've been doing a lot of carbs with less exercise, after some time, the effects start showing. So that's another explanation of why age contributes to why age contributes to slow metabolism. Slow metabolism cause number 3 is high insulin levels in the body. High insulin levels in the body leads to slow metabolism. You can already see with series of our videos how most of our problems are caused by high insulin levels and what we are calling insulin resistance. Actually, I've never had the confidence of saying this, that all our problems are caused by insulin resistance, until I had a chat with Nas Mombi, who is one of our subscriber, and she said she actually confirmed that most of our lifestyle problems or complications are due to insulin resistance. So even slow metabolism is caused by high levels of insulin in the body, and that's what we are calling insulin resistance. So we are going to look at how do we now boost our metabolism by solving our 3 problems. Our 3 problems, one problem is dieting. If we are serious, if we take our dieting so aggressively, age, and then the high levels of insulin in the body. So number 1 is dieting. So we need to safely practice dieting. Safely means we diet without getting into metabolism adaptation. And remember, dieting is not the same as fasting. Fasting and dieting are different. Fasting is you're going for a period without a meal, but when you are within that meal, you can take the calories that are sufficient for your body. So it's very different. We are talking about the meal that you eat should have enough calories so that your body does not get into adaptation mode. So what happens is, how you recommend this is that you keep your calorific intake. You do not go aggressive with the dieting, so that you have a very huge calorific deficit. If you have a very huge calorific deficit like the one I had when I lost my weight, when I started, I panicked and I was creating a calorific deficit of 700. My body needs 1700 calories to operate. So I was taking about 1,000 in one meal a day. So 1,000 was so low, and that's why my body got into metabolic adaptation, and I started showing signs of slow metabolism. So we are not supposed to be very aggressive with our calorific deficit. It's recommended to be about 300 calories difference, so that if, for example, my body needs 1,700 calories a day, I can take 300 calories less. That means 1,400 calories. And then when I'm doing those calories, they should come from safe quality sources. That's such that I will use the formula so that most of my calories I'm getting from fats and from proteins, and very little from carbohydrates. That way your body cannot slow down your metabolism, because remember, carbohydrates will raise your insulin level, and we said insulin will lower the metabolism. So the other factor that contributes to slow metabolism is age. Unfortunately, there is nothing we can do about the age. All of us will grow old. It's a natural process. So we go to number 3, which is keeping the insulin levels low. So in this video, we recommend the first go-to method for lowering the insulin level is by fasting. And we can have so many methods of fasting. Personally, I practice the 16-8, go for 16 hours without meals, and then my meals I take them within the 8-hour period. You can choose the fasting that is good for you, that works for you, and then you can grow into it as your body becomes accustomed. We call it's fat adapted, such that your body learns how to use the long-term stored fat. So that's fasting. The other one is to avoid food with high glycemic index. Any food that is above 50, and we will attach a chart of glycemic index of popular food, so that you can have a reference. In the first comment, you will find a chart, a link to a chart for glycemic index. Glycemic means what are the chances that the food you are eating will raise your blood sugar, which in turn raises the insulin. So if you take food that has a high glycemic index, your blood sugar will go high, which will necessitate the production of insulin. You see, now when you produce insulin, then metabolism goes low. So we'll avoid food that has glycemic index of above 50. And then the other way to reduce our insulin levels is to stay away from sugars and alcohol. All these will raise your blood sugar, they will raise your insulin, and if your insulin is high, your metabolism is low. And then also fruits, we take them in moderation, because fruits cause this thing called non-fatty liver disease. The liver is the center of metabolism. So if it's fat, it will have a problem with carrying on its function. So because its functions of regulating metabolism are not going on well, you will have a slow metabolism. So we'll recommend fruits in moderation. Then the other way of controlling the levels of insulin is by reducing stress. Stress from any form, exercise stress, emotional stress, we reduce them, because stress raises a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol raises insulin, and once insulin is raised, metabolism goes low. Then the other item on how we can lower insulin is by doing safe exercises. And we said for insulin resistant people, our safe exercises are low intensity that are done for a long period. Something like walking, because exercises also raise our cortisol level. So if you do high intensity for a long period, you raise your cortisol level, which raises the insulin, which lowers the metabolism. So we stick with low intense exercise for a long period. You can do high intense exercise, but for a short period. A 1 minute sprint is okay, but not extend with jogging of 5 hours or something like that. It shouldn't be extended, but a short period, because if you extend it, cortisol rises. And then the other very important one is weightlifting. When you get into weightlifting, you will conserve your muscles, because we said we should not be losing our muscles as we lose our fat. We should conserve our muscle. So if the basic principle is that if you don't use a muscle, you lose it. So if with weight training, you'll be able to use the muscle and you'll maintain it or even grow it. And muscles are more metabolically active. So if you have a person who has a higher level of muscle, will have a higher levels of metabolism than the one who doesn't have. And muscles are metabolically active. So those are the three exercises, safe exercise for people who are insulin resistant, for us to slow down the insulin level so that we can increase our metabolism. That's all we have for now. You can watch our video on why we are recommending fruits in moderation. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next production.